I've got some really cool vintage comic books from over 50 years ago, featuring one of my favorite characters. Let's take a look. Okay, what I have here is Detective Comics number 371 from 1968 that puts this in the Silver Age of comics. The writer was Gardner Fox and the artist was Carmine Infantino. That's a great creative team for the Silver Age, and I love what that creative team also did on Adam Strange. This next book is Batman number 291 from 1977 that puts this in the Bronze Age of comics. The artist was Jim Aparo and the writer was David Verne. So these are both really cool books. They're both key issues. Well, this one kind of is. It's really a key just because it's an iconic Jim Aparo cover showing Batman's rogues gallery. You've got the Joker, Catwoman, Lex Luthor, Scarecrow, Poison Ivy, and the Riddler. So classic cover, 1977, beautiful. I think Jim Aparo is one of the great Batman artists of all time. I think a lot of people like him, but I think he doesn't get enough credit, man. He's not quite Neil Adams, but I put him up there as one of the great Batman artists, and he's in the Bronze Age, and a lot of times the Bronze Age doesn't get as much love, but, I think Bronze Age books are starting to become more and more appreciated, and I just love Jim Aparo's art. So really cool book for that reason. Now this one is a key because it's the debut of the Batmobile that inspired the TV show design. This book can go for about $300 in high grade. I don't know if mine's high. No, mine I would call mine mid grade. There's some stuff going on over here, but I absolutely love this cover by Carmine Infantino. I think he's another really great Batman artist. Now, let's take a look inside and look at that Batmobile that inspired the TV show. The tricky part about this is not letting the tape touch the book when you're pulling it out. These old comics were printed on newsprint, so the paper quality wasn't as good, but the art is still beautiful. And there you go. There's the Batmobile. Let me zoom in on that a little bit. That is the Batmobile that would go on to inspire the Batmobile in the TV show. Now, let's put this back in the bag and board before I damage it. Whew. All right, we're safe. This book goes for about $40 in high grade, so mine's probably, mine's like mid to high grade. It could be worth that much. But yeah, I can't express enough just how much I love Jim Aparo's art. I'm definitely going to be showing some more Jim Aparo on this channel in the future, and I'm definitely going to be looking out for more Bronze Age books. I think the Bronze Age is kind of on the come up. As the decades and years go by, we get further and further away from these time periods, the Silver Age and the Bronze Age and everything else like that. And I think that even though the Bronze Age doesn't get that much love, especially in DC, I do think there are some really cool books from that era that I am going to show on this channel. So yeah, these are just two really cool vintage Batman comic books that I'm super happy to have in my collection.